Hi everybody, I hope you're having a great day. In this video I'm going to be covering The Darkest Knight. He made his first appearance in Dark Knight's Death Metal, issue number 2, that was released in September 2020. He is the final form of the Batman who laughs from the Dark Multiverse, with this Bruce Wayne typically standing 6 feet 2 inches tall and weighing 210 pounds. Although, as you'll see, this stat is completely irrelevant. He represents the evolution of a scared small boy in an alley, all the way to arguably one of the strongest cosmic beings in existence. This is due to Laughs getting the power of Dr. Manhattan and then being enhanced even more. Matter of fact, in his final state, there may have only been about 5 beings or less in existence that could even hold their own with him. This being said, he is nigh-omnipotent, and all of his power levels are basically beyond measure. He can easily warp realities of the multiverse, as well as exhibit extreme matter manipulation, to include darkness manipulation and constructs. He can also travel between any dimension of the multiverse and absorb and project all manner of energy, including crisis energy and anti-crisis energy. He's also been shown to infect other energy sources, such as the Speed Force, and is functionally immortal and invulnerable, being shown to only take damage from beings such as Perpetua, Superboy Prime, and a World Forge enhanced Wonder Woman, which in theory should almost be irrelevant to him anyway, due to him being able to shapeshift, regenerate, and reconstitute himself, not to mention resurrect others. To go on, the Darkest Knight is also nigh-omniscient, seeing the majority of the past, present, and future at one time. And although I don't have to add this, it should be noted that he's fast enough to jokingly keep up with speedsters such as Barry Allen, Wally West, and Jay Garrick, as well as being physically strong enough to knock Golden Wonder Woman back to the beginning of creation. Now, the Dark Knight story basically begins with the final Bruce Wayne, aka Batmanhattan of the Dark Multiverse. This reality's Bruce Wayne had come into contact with the comedian's button, discovering that it gave off a powerful and strange energy signature. He decided to build an intrinsic field generator to try to reproduce this strange energy, but his initial experiments failed. When he went inside of the device to examine it, he didn't realize that the Batman who laughs had been watching him secretly, and Laughs shut the door behind him and turned the machine on, instantly disintegrating this Bruce Wayne. But this played right into the plans of Batman Who Laughs, because months later, this Bruce began to reconstitute himself, similar to how Dr. Manhattan did. But Laughs was waiting and ready, and used an energy knife to lobotomize him before he could get his orientation. Laughs would then keep this powerful body stored away as a contingency plan, and only let the Batmage and some other Dark Knights know of its location. And sure enough, during an epic battle that he had against the Justice League, the Batman Who Laughs ended up being taken out by Wonder Woman, who was using a chainsaw built from parts of her invisible jet. But due to Laugh's brain being left intact, the Dark Knights would recover his remains and would begin the process to transplant his brain into the powerful body that was awaiting. A little time would go by before Laughs awakened in his new blue body, being slightly disoriented and not fully achieving the unlimited power that awaited him. Although he was coherent enough to disintegrate Batmanosaurus Rex, who insulted him for not responding to his name. Soon thereafter, he would morph into his old body form, and the powerful Perpetua herself would telepathically reach out to all of them, warning her new so-called ally of the impending danger that he would face. At this point, feeling the extreme power coursing through his veins, and in true Joker fashion, the Batman Who Laughs would take out most all of the Dark Knights, feeling that he had no further need of them, except for one, who he called the Robin King, and who he charged with keeping Wonder Woman from renewing the multiverse while he regained all of his strength. He would then take one more transformation, changing into his final form and calling himself the Darkest Knight. In the coming confrontations, the Darkest Knights would get more and more powerful, craftily having crisis energy diverted to him as well, eventually getting to the point that he declared that he had everything he needed to remake the multiverse in his own image, calling it, and I quote, the last 52. He would eventually get to the point that he had no one standing in his way except for Perpetua, then confronting and turning on her, showing that he had full intent to take her down. They had an epic battle, but in the end, the Dark Knight was able to seal her away and destroy her within fragments of the source wall, even further displaying his power by resurrecting his Dark Knights to take out all of the beings that were brought there to fight him. Meanwhile, an epiphany that Wonder Woman had at the World Forge would lead to her dipping death metal and her lasso of truth into the Forge's fires, which resulted in her gaining a one-of-a-kind golden armor that empowered her as she'd never been powered before, channeling Anticrisis energy directly into her being. So in the midst of the Darkest Knight celebrating his victory over the multiverse, he was approached by this powerful new golden Wonder Woman. And of course, they start their epic battle. And although the Darkest Knight would have some shining moments in this battle, such as one of his blows knocking the two of them back to the beginning of the universe, ultimately, the Golden Wonder Woman and her newfound power would prove too much for the Darkest Knight. Now, due to his powers and abilities and his influence on the DC universe, for my 1 to 10 rating, I'll give the Darkest Knight a rating of 10, which is a legendary rating. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you next time. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join the new Sage.